What has a partner done during sex that totally ruined it for you? Some years ago, my wife, in the middle of it all, out of nowhere, asked if I had moved the clothes from the washing machine to the dryer. She told me it was her recently deceased father's bed. Back in college, we used to have a playlist that we listened to during sex. One time, he added songs in accidentally and we ended up listening to a techno version of the World 1 music to Super Mario Bros. And laughing too much to continue. Electronica versions of the songs from Mega Man came on after, killing the mood even more. All in all, it was still a fun day and we're married now, so it didn't kill sex forever. Tried anal with no lube or anything. He called me mom. We don't have kids. Started talking about random subjects that had nothing to do with sex. Yes, I know we should fix that lawnmower soon. I don't care, love me, god damn it. During a handjob one time, I had my right arm underneath this girl's ass, feeling her up, and she blasted me with this humongous fart that was so damn thunderous I instantly lost any ounce of hard I had. Not my partner, but one time we were going at it and the neighbor's kid came out on the porch to play Hot Cross Buns badly on his recorder. Never has it been so hard to come. We had to call it. I bled on his face while he was eating me out. To be fair, it was after I miscarried and my period was super erratic. But God, I never wanted to let him down there again. He's been back though. Boy's a trooper. XGF would talk dirty during sex, which is fine, but her dirty talk would get really detailed and outlandish and she'd ramble on and on. One time during one of her speaking in tongues episodes, she imagined we were in a fancy restaurant and I was eating her out under the table and she was describing how the food was tasting, the appetizers, the main course, the dessert, the wine in great, agonizing detail. Another, after watching a World Cup game, she told a story of me ravishing her at center line after scoring the game-winning goal. She'd describe in painstaking detail the goal. I'm talking a couple of minutes, while we were having sex, before she'd talk about any sexy stuff at all. In all honesty, I'd be internally laughing far more than I'd ever be turned on. I was railing this metal chick about 25 years ago and Hallow Be Thy Name came on and she started head banging and singing along. Great song, but the interactive karaoke session wasn't needed. Bent my dick in half and man did it hurt. She was curious as to what it felt like for me. When I told him that he wasn't inside me when he was fingering me, he decided to cross-examine my vagina like a gynecologist. Talk about awkward. Talked about an ex and the sexiest thing the ex did. Said that was the most turned on he had ever been in his life. Passed out. One moment she is moaning and squirming, and the next moment she passed out. I obviously stopped and tried to wake her. After she woke up she told me I should have finished. She can faint when she gets too excited. I just couldn't. Despite her insistence that it is normal for her and okay, my brain tells me it is not right to keep going on an unconscious person. Not my partner but a one-night stand. I was in the middle of giving my tongue a clit workout when she let out a ripping fart. This didn't ruin it for me at all. In fact, I thought it was quite funny and peculiar. I was eating her out while she was in all fours. She had an orgasm and accidentally farted right in front of my face. She was extremely embarrassed, but I laughed for about 10 minutes non-stop. Taken the condom off when I explicitly told him I wanted to use protection. He was a piece of shit. Was hooking up with my ex, which wasn't an out of the ordinary thing at the time. When I'm balls deep in her and she mentions getting in the parking lot where she works by her new guy mere hours prior, I kept going. I have no self-respect. Neither does she. Broke up with me. Getting your face farted at while eating ass is one thing. Having some chunky bits come along, that kinda killed it for me. Called me daddy. Knocked the out of there. Wanted to use knives while we had sex. Wanted to give me a blowjob while I took a shit, so she could smell it. I'm out. Teeth on my dick. Don't use your teeth on my dick, Tammy. One time my ex starting throwing up while I was blowing him. He had bad chick filler before coming over. Made me laugh. Needed 5 minutes to re-establish. Yeah, you like that. You retard. Getting annoyed and rude when I couldn't instantly get it up. Guys need foreplay too. My GF has done some stuff that makes me feel she doesn't enjoy it as much as I do, like wanting me to skip foreplay just to get to sleep earlier, riding my cucumber furiously after she orgasmed just to make me come faster, and getting mad at me for not coming. Her attitude actually killed it. I felt like a sex toy that needed to be turned off. Once she bit my lips so hard my mouth started to taste like blood. After I tried to kiss her during sex. I can't remember any other right now, but I'm sure there is more. Will edit if I remember anything else. Find a new girl, man. Wasn't my partner but friends with benefits. She liked anal, and when she was riding me, dick in cheeks, shit on me. This was actually just before sex. But first time meeting this girl was at her place for over an hour. She was talking how she wanted her wedding to be, literally showing me images of wedding gowns, shoes, etc, basically the whole spiel. I was trying to figure out a way to get out of there. Anyways, later was sitting on her couch. She went to use the restroom, she said. When she returned she was butt naked and straddled me on the couch kissing me. My mind was racing with WTF, but quickly overcome with what was going on and went with it. We moved to her room and we continued foreplay. I was going down on her when I came to my senses, thinking that this chick is bonkers and WTF was I doing. I told her I had to go. I put my clothes on so quickly and got the out of there. Never again did we speak. Never regretted this decision. We were pretty drunk, and she was blowing me and told me that she wanted it all. She started deep throating. Soon someone was covered with something thick and sticky, me with her puke. To her credit, she gave me a nice hand job after we cleaned up. I asked her for a blowjob, since the hand job was not doing it for me, so she proceeds to lightly blow on the tip. I thought it was an inspired beginning, but she just literally blew on my member for the next couple of minutes. I stopped her and asked what she was doing. She said that it was a blowjob, so she was blowing on my little guy. It wasn't that crazy since there are boob jobs and hand jobs. Admittedly, she was equally skilled at all of the above, so there was no real best option available. I decided I would instruct her on how to give me a proper blowjob. After some direction, she finally put her mouth around it, and I thought everything was going well. She bobbed her head down then up, and proceeded to lacerate my Johnson with her teeth in multiple locations. I assumed that she would know to keep teeth away from sensitive areas, but I was sorely mistaken. I actually had to go to the ER that night because of the damage, but I will save that for a different post. We were having sex, literally in the middle of and he whispers in my ear, "We gotta wash the car." Went back her place for a drink. We had a drink and she excused herself. She came back dressed to the nines. Black bra, panties, thigh highs, and heels. She climbed on top of me and worked her way down to giving me a blowjob. About 2 minutes into a pretty amazing act, she looked up at me and projectile vomited, hitting my face all the way down to my crouch. She basically told me to leave after that. Nothing like Ubering home wearing and smelling like vomit. One time this girl wouldn't shut the up about her air conditioner. It was loud and would make clunky noises at times. Whenever it would make a noise she'd mention, "It's okay, it's just my air conditioner," and for some reason it just turned me off. Also, one time this girl was giving me head and kept humming. It was the worst blowjob I've ever had. I actually asked her to stop and she said she had to or she would gag. It was just awkward. I was never going to come and she wouldn't quit. One time this girl wouldn't shut the up about her air conditioner. It was loud and would make clunky noises at times. Whenever it would make a noise she'd mention, "It's okay, it's just my air conditioner," and for some reason it just turned me off. Yeah, her husband was definitely recording you guys from inside the closet. Sneezed while eating me out. My ex just laid there and looked at me like she was a dead fish and tried to hold in her moans. It was awkward and weird. Like, we are having sex, this is the last place you should be prim and proper, for fuck's sake. On the factor of fun, I don't know. She has orgasmed every time we did it. She liked having sex, but like I said, she just laid there like a dead fish. Was titty her. She looked down and said, "Ooh, it's just like a gif." It was hard to keep from laughing or take anything seriously after that. I found out on more than one occasion that being called daddy in bed is an almost instant turn off. Sir is fine. I like sir. Sir should be more of a thing than daddy. Used to have pretty rough sex with my ex. I didn't mind his kinky antics at all, like ever. Besides this one time he choked me so hard that I literally lost consciousness. He panicked and called 911, so I woke up to a medic in my face while I was naked in bed. I was going at it with my wife in her late pregnancy and her water broke during sex. It was a panic moment, but today we laugh about it. Reached over my head to grab a box on his headboard and showed me the contents. A hypodermic needle and a tiny glass vial on a leather cord. Then he said he wanted to take my blood and wear it around his neck. Dropped his face sweat on me during missionary. It was just a Tinder hookup and the sex was alright. Not bad but not loving it. I noticed he was getting really sweaty, which was understandable, but then his forehead sweat dripped onto my face. Instant mood killer. I can't talk that much during sex. I'll moan and get words out. But sentences are tough. It distracts me and makes it hard to concentrate on the sensations. I get too in my head if I have to actually form a whole thought. I've had a couple guys who seemed completely unable to stop asking me questions, trying to get me to talk dirty. How do you want me to f you? Baby, what are you thinking about? What do you think of my cock? Does it feel good? What feels good? Tell me, baby. Shut the f up. This isn't 20 questions. Shut up and f me already. I f***ed this guy and he just kept moaning, "Oh my god, you're so tight," over, and over, and over, and over. He gave a good dicking, but I wanted to shove a sock in his mouth. Pussies are tight. Brew. Common misconception. During oral. Stretched open, apart my lips so hard, wide it felt like I was going to tear. I was the sex ruiner here. I was a freshman in high school, so like 15, there was this older guy from my school where I was new and knew nobody who took interest in me. We had only talked online, and then one night he come over. We were making out, which turned into him fingering me. After a few minutes he pulls his fingers out long enough to notice they're covered in blood. He asks if I'm on my period. I tell him I swear I'm not. He asks if he hurt me. I tell him no, I'm fine. But that just was a boner killer apparently, because he left. After washing his fingers off more like tried to, the blood stained his fingers and he seemed pretty annoyed by it. Turns out neither of us knew what a hymen was. I think he just thought I was lying about being on my period. Had a playlist of sexy music that abruptly cut to the damn Andy Griffith whistling theme. What the hell? I talk too much. I know I get annoying, it's just I get paranoid and constantly ask for consent and such. Like to the point she just tells me to shut up. Went to a party and met this really hot chick. We go back to her place and I ask her what she did for living. She told me that she worked for a film distribution company. This was back during videotape days. We get naked and were fooling around in bed when she grabs her remotes and turns on the TV in VCR. Dog porn. Asked me if I wanted to meet her German Shepherd who was in the backyard. She hops up and let the dog in. She immediately went down on all fours. Dog jumps on her and she tells me I'm next. I suddenly remember that I had to get up early and left. I dated a girl for a few months who used to scream, wildly over the top, like a bad porn star, loud as hell. Me, oh god, yes, 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 etc. I did not enjoy it. I was just kinda like, you're not fooling anyone. I know I'm not that good. I dunno if she had learned about sex from porn, but it was a huge turn off. My ex loved licking my eyeball. The first time she did it I jerked back so hard I almost broke my dick. When she did it again I told her to stop and she literally couldn't understand why someone wouldn't want their eyeball licked. Broke up with her soon after. She was also super mentally unstable with a heavy drinking problem. Hit my cervix and kept going even after I screamed in agony. Kicked his ass off the bed. Grind the knob of my dick on her recently grown in pubic stubble. Yeah, you like that. You retard. Was in the middle of some safe sex. She said after this you're going to eat me out. I just stopped. The idea was good, done it many times before and after. I just cannot do the taste of spermicide and latex. Makes me heave. One time she called me dad, not daddy, dad. I kept saying no to anal, but he kept trying to ease me into it. I let him go a little further in one of the 30 attempts, and that was justification that I would enjoy it because he got far. It's a real dick dropper to constantly have to stop and say no. We were getting hot and heavy in my dorm room. She was looking out one of the dorm windows. It was the 3rd floor. Anyways, it was really hot that day and I came up behind her and teased her. We were about to start getting undressed when I picked her up. It surprised her and made things even better until I went to lay her on my damn bed and ended up throwing her too close to the wall and she hit her head off the wall. It killed the mood and we laughed about the whole thing. We still had sex, but it wasn't nearly as great as it probably would have been. Her and I are friends and we still laugh about it sometimes.